Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith and you're watching another What I'm Reading Right Now video here on the channel. I'm wearing my wiggly headband. I was feeling it today, and also red lipstick, which is how you know I'm trying to disguise how tired I am, because I'm exhausted. We have 2 dogs in the house at the moment, I've not been sleeping great, and I've started going to the gym again, and all that has resulted in me feeling just a little bit wiped out. But I have read slightly more this week than I think I read last week. So let me tell you all about it. As ever, we're going to talk about what I have been reading, what I'm currently reading, what I'm going to be reading, new releases, and any books that have entered my life since the last time we spoke. So let's chat about all those things. I think I finished a few things since last time we spoke. I finished a reread of Riot Baby by Tochi Onyebuchi. This is for an overbooked video that will be coming very soon. I really enjoyed this on a reread. I think it's a really solid novella. If you haven't read it already, highly, highly recommend. Video coming within the next kind of couple of months or so. I've put this here in my story graph because I realised I didn't actually date when I read it, and I think I actually read it last week, but let's talk about it now. I also reread Forkwitch Worm for an overbooked video that's coming up. That's about short stories in the world of Allegasia, which is the inheritance cycle, Christopher Paolini, dragons, somewhat controversial. I don't know what I'm going to do for that video yet, we'll see. Actual new releases, I have filmed a video review for this, so hopefully I can edit that before it comes out. This is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. If you want my 2 cents now, in case you want to pre-order or not, I was so-so on this. I think it's got a lot going for it. There's a lot of really good stuff, but it very much felt like a debut to me. I don't know that I would be dashing out to buy this one until I'd found out how the second one went. That being said, I do want to read the second one, so they always grab me. The last 100 pages of these kind of books, they nab me. I'm thinking like, never mind, I'll be fine. And then I get sucked back in and then I'll have to reread this to read the second one. And by that point, I'll probably like it again. It's a vicious cycle. If you like fantasy kind of similar to For the Wolf, I would say that's probably the most similar. I think this feels slightly better than For the Wolf for me, just personally. I wasn't a huge fan of For the Wolf, but not quite hitting, what was the other thing it recommended? They haven't put it on the back. I think it was compared to Uprooted as well. It's not quite as good as Uprooted, that's all I'll say. I finished 2 more Tamara Pierce books. I finished Wolf Speaker and Emperor Mage. These are the last 2 books in the Immortals Quartet. Loved them, had such a good time. One of my favourite series, possibly my favourite of all of the series in the total books. I'm not quite sure. I think probably. I need to finish them all off, but I'm fairly sure they're going to end up being my favourites because there's the most talking animals in them, and that's really what I want from my middle grade to young adult vintagey fiction. That's what I want. Oh, I do apologise. I read 3. I read Wolf Speaker, Emperor Mage, and The Realms of the Gods, which is the last 3 of those. Sorry. I'm misleading you. Another one that I have filmed a video for, but I don't think I was particularly coherent in it, so we'll see how that comes out in the edit. Babel by R.F. Kuang. This I did the audiobook for, the entirety. I was gonna switch halfway through and do it physically, but I ended up going like, no, it's fine, I'll do the audiobook. Really liked the audiobook, think it's well worth reading. That way, if you like audiobooks, I think it's a good one. I actually ended up really loving this book. I think it hit exactly the marks I wanted it to hit. It does dark academia without being too wanky. It was great. I'll tell you more about it when I review it in full, but yeah, had a good time. Actually got round to reading Animorphs 43. I think it's been maybe 3 months since I read an Animorphs book, but I'm back in the cycle of reading them because I'm trying to prepare for next year. At this point, I need to film Animorphs 42. I don't think it's going to happen before the end of the week. Oops. Oh well, never mind. I thought this one was a weird one. It's a Tobias one. It's a lot to do with trauma. Sometimes they're just not funny, and those are the videos that are hardest to make. And lastly, one that I haven't managed to film a rapid fire review for yet, and I'm annoyed at myself because I was on a roll with them, but it'll happen when it happens. I finished Nona the 9th. This is the 3rd book in the Locked Tomb series by Tamsin Muir. If you haven't heard about these, I don't know where you've been living, but perhaps under a rock. Was it a pleasant time under the rock? Did you have a good time? My feelings towards this series are mixed. I tend to be reasonably met on them on a first read and really like them on a reread, so I'm very aware that I'm on my first read for this. I find them too convoluted, I think is probably the right word for me. For me personally, I don't like, as a reader, having things kept from me unnecessarily, and that's how I feel like these books work, and they work to make you go, oh, I figured out this convoluted thing, but it doesn't tell you it in enough time for me to personally enjoy it, and I have to have it explained to me afterwards, and I just don't think that's either me being very stupid, or it's a less than good book, and I choose to prefer to believe that I'm not stupid, but maybe I am. So yeah, I do want to reread this. I do want to do the audiobook at some point in the future when I can have access to that. I thought it was very good. I gave it 4 stars. As a book on its own, I think it's an enjoyable book. As part of a series that has this kind of mystery element to it, I don't know that I enjoyed it as much. Maybe I just like the books and not the overarching meta plot of the series. Maybe that's where I'll come down on it. Anyway, review to come. Things I'm in the middle of, it won't surprise you, I'm still in the middle of A Restless Truth. I haven't progressed on it whatsoever. I'm also reading Blood of Tyrants by Naomi Novik. I've got to about the halfway point on that. I'll probably finish that by the end of this week. Loving it. The tensions are high, dragons, having a great time. And my Brandon Sanderson at the moment is The Final Empire, which is the first book in the original Mistborn trilogy. I am 88 pages in, and I'm trying to get to 342 pages in. So it's slow going, but I am really enjoying it. Allomancy is the magic system of this, and it's a hard magic system, and I love a hard magic system. I've not read one in too long, so enjoying that. But we'll have more to say on that next week when hopefully I will have finished it. Still to read this week, I want to get to Animorphs 44. I would love to get to Children of Time. I want to do a reread of that, and Children of Time, Children of Ruin, and Children of Memory. I have Children of Memory. I'd like to read all three of them, but I do also have rereads of the Scholomance series, but I've realised that I might be able to pen those because actually I'm going to be away when my copy of The Golden Enclaves comes in, so that'll be late anyway, so I may as well pen those. I don't know, I think it'll be fine. Quick announcement, there won't be any videos next week because I'm on holiday. I appreciate I've just taken a hiatus, but there's just not going to be time with everything that's going on. I shall not be able to create content during that time. There will be a Monday video, and maybe I will do a live on Sunday, as in not the Sunday coming, but the Sunday after that, just to chat through everything I've read, but it will be late. I'm hoping to have a lovely holiday, and I don't want to be thinking about my upload schedule in the meantime. Please forgive. But since we're not going to be talking next week, I'll give you the quick rundown of what I'm planning on getting to. I want to get to the first two books in the Protector of the Small quartet, which are Page and First Test. Not necessarily in that order, I think it's First Test, then Page. I love this series as well. I have them physically and I'm looking forward to reading them. Finishing off The Final Empire. Golden Enclaves is when I can get my hands on it. And The Stars Undying. This is a arc of a sci-fi book that I'm excited to get to. I think it's just going to be a couple of weeks of slightly mixing up my schedule and deciding what I do and don't want to reread for the finales of series, because it's quite a big ask to get through 900 pages. It's a little bit intense. New releases for this week. In terms of new releases, I think I only have one, and it's The Unbalancing by R.B. Lemberg. This is the first full-length book in the Birdverse series. I do have plans to read this. I thought I had a review copy. I now can't find it anywhere, so I don't know where that's gone, and I will be reading it whichever way I can at the time when I can get to it. I think that might end up being on my catch-up list from 2022, but if you want good queer fiction, this is an example of it, and if you haven't read their novella, The Four Profound Weaves, I highly recommend it. It's so good. And with all of that, I probably ought to get back to work. It's been another quick one this week. I'm just slotting in stuff where I can. As I say, life is just a little intense at the moment, to be perfectly honest. It's going to be much less intense later, I keep saying to myself, and yet. What have you been reading? What have you been up to? Let me know down in the comments below. Are any of these books on your TBR or somewhere thereabouts? While you're down there commenting, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. It makes me feel loved and appreciated. You can also follow me on social media. Come hang out on Discord where we have cool chill chats about books. Nothing makes me feel more loved and appreciated than my patrons over on Patreon who support the channel and get access to exclusive content and early access to videos as well. Ooh, how exciting. If you would like to join their number, that's linked below. Thank you so much for watching. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one.
There's gonna be some bloopers now.
Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith. Actually got around to reading another... Ooh, we're about to be visited by a dog, I think. We'll see. Things I'm in the middle of. I don't know why... So, still to read... Ooh, come on, come back. Don't disappear. That's very unhelpful.